Welcome to Inland Empire Alive, bringing you issues, events, and perspectives from throughout San Bernardino and Riverside counties. I'm David Brady, and on today's show, I'll welcome San Bernardino High School alumnus Bob Satterfield for a talk about its upcoming Back to Purdue event on September 21st. That's today on Inland Empire Alive. Well, joining me now to talk about a wonderful event celebrating the history and legacy of San Bernardino High School is Bob Satterfield, an alumnus graduate of the class of 1975, 50 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a product of San Bernardino. I lived in the same house I live in right now since 1961.
Wow.
And went to Wilson School and Arrowview Junior High then, and then San Bernardino High School, Valley College, and Cal State. So.
What was high school like then to now? That is a long period. It's 50 years we're talking about.
It's 50 years, and being a longtime teacher also, I've been now on both sides of the chalkboard, and it has really been quite interesting. And looking through the yearbook, you think, oh yeah, I remember that, but you see things in the yearbook that's no longer relevant today. Like we had a couple of telephone booths.
Like payphones,
yeah,
right?
Payphones, yeah. Where you gonna
kids
find
don't even know what those are nowadays.
Have, much less try to work a dial thing.
Sure.
You know? And then there was a huge bike rack. I mean, there were like 100 bikes and so forth. And now kids are on skateboards and scooters, and or mom and dad's dropping them off. And then you see the campus has riddled with lockers, and those were taken out. I think in the 80s, if I remember correctly. I was teaching at that time. They took them all out. So the campus has really changed a lot, and all of the high schools, thanks to our superintendent, Mauricio Arellano, he has really made them all up to par. They've all been repainted. A lot of them been remodeled. San Bernardino High School's old auditorium that was kind of a barn. It's now, after 3 years of renovation, it's opened as the Performing Arts Center, so it's state-of-the-art theater inside. San Gorgonio High School just had a culinary building, and they had their pool removed and put it somewhere else, and that's their aqua athletics are really amazing too. So
you mentioned that San Bernardino was built when?
Well, it was originally like 1893 down on 8th and E Street, and then in 1915 they moved it a mile out of town to where it is now at 18th and E Street in 1915, and then it's been remodeled, of course, several times. I know the classes just before 75, they had to split their campus because they were building things. So they actually had sessions at Pacific High School, one the first semester and the second semester at Cajon, or vice versa. And those campuses, like in the morning it was San Bernardino High, the afternoon it was Cajon, until their big buildings and things got built. So.
Well, I was struck by some of the photos you shared of the renovations. It looks for a building that's that old, it looks very modern, some of the additions and some of the changes, and yet it pays tribute to the history and the heritage of this area, the classic cars, Route 66, right. The sort of 1950s culture.
Absolutely. The cafeteria is beautiful, inside. And like I said, the performing arts, and they're renovating the gym, I think, still, but it's going to be ready also. And then they repainted all these beautiful murals on almost all the campuses. If you're driving around town, almost the elementary ones are all beautiful as well. And kids take pride in that now. So it's really, I was expecting a lot of graffiti, but I haven't seen any myself. Of course, I'm not on the campuses, and I know we had a good custodian that used to clean all that before everybody got there. But anyway, yeah, things are really kind of cool, and that's why I had the idea of having our reunion to have it there on the campus, because most of the people are maybe not in town or have not had the opportunity to come on campus. It's not like you can walk on there willy-nilly.
Sure, nowadays you really can't
you buzz in and show your, all that, to make it safe for the kids. So this is a great opportunity for any class. It's not just 75. We're having our banquet at the DoubleTree on September September the 20th. That's our main reunion. And then the next day from 11 to 3, we'll have this, what I call Back to Purdue luncheon there on the campus. And we'll be able to take group shots of under the murals. We're going to go into the theater for a short program. Back then in 75, water polo was kind of the big sport, and so a number of our alumni are coming back, and we're going to take some pictures on the deck there. And I've tracked down the coach, and I haven't heard back from him. I'm not sure if he wants to come back or not, but after all these years. And it's kind of cool because San Bernardino High just won CIF this season, so 50 years later, it'd be kind of neat to have a picture with their trophy.
So how satisfying is it to have all these folks excited about celebrating this milestone?
Well, I did one of the earlier reunions, and I was the activity director at San Gorgonio, and I swore I wasn't going to get involved in this. And but then after going to the ribbon cutting of the Performing Arts Center, I looked at the campus and I said, this is a great place to have it. And so that was my idea, is to have that. And the guys all thought it was a great idea because they could go in shorts and a t-shirt and all that kind of stuff. It was cool. But all the wives and the gals wanted to have a little more elegant affair. So we split the difference and had the banquet the night before. And then September 21st, we'll have the Back to Purdue thing. And I got really excited as I was working on it and finding people. This was something I kind of needed because I've been retired for 8 years from doing activities. Although I do a lot of stuff in Hollywood and whatnot. This was kind of neat to do something back at Purdue. So,
well, when we come back, we will hear more about Bob Satterfield's career as a English teacher for 35 years at San Gorgonio High School right after these messages.
The City of San Bernardino has implemented a new low-cost sidewalk vending program in hopes of expanding opportunity for community members to start sidewalk vending safely and lawfully. We want everyone to have access to the economic benefits that sidewalk vending brings, but we want to make sure that our sidewalk vendors know the do's and don'ts when it comes to our city. We must make sure that vendors are keeping our residents safe by following general health and safety standards and by following all city rules. Like, did you know to legally sidewalk vend in the City of San Bernardino, you'll need a seller's permit? What about the $1 million general liability insurance that you are required to have? Don't let this scare you. When all is said and done, the cost of the annual permit will either be $64 or $154. We want to help in every way we can when it comes to vendors lawfully running and growing their small businesses. But those who operate without the proper permits can and will be cited. Citations can run anywhere from $100 to a misdemeanor, and repeated violations can result in the confiscation of items needed to sidewalk vend. We do not want this to be you. So, if you have any questions or concerns regarding the new sidewalk vending program, please call us at 909-384-5035, where staff will help you navigate your way to becoming a safe and permitted vendor in our city.
Well, I'm talking with Bob Satterfield, an alumnus of San Bernardino High School, the class of 1975, and also a longtime teacher at San Gorgonio High School.
Right.
How did you know that when you wanted to be a teacher? Was that something you decided while you were a student?
Well, yes. One of my history teacher, Brian Burke, amazing man, World War II veteran, brilliant teacher. No, really great guy. I'm going to get choked up talking about him. But he was, my junior year I had him for U.S. history. Senior year was the first time we offered AP U.S. history, you know. So my elective was to take the class over again just because I liked him so much. And he was probably one of the big forces of why I was going to be an actor. I did stuff at, graduated from Cal State with the theater arts thing. But I saw so many people, you know, not having it work out, and I needed a plan B because, as you can tell, I like to eat. And so I needed a job where, you know, so I thought, you know, I'm going to do this, get a teaching credential, and never left, you know.
Well, tell me what that was like. What did you teach, and what were some of your extracurricular
Well, I started
activities?
at San Bernardino High School. In those days, you could spell sub and be one instead of having, you know. And so right at like 4.5 years after I left San as a as a student, I was there as a long-term sub and had a lot of brothers and sisters. A lot of my teachers were my colleagues, and that was really
must have been
cool.
strange.
It was strange, but it was really cool. And then you got
They
to
call
see,
you kid?
they called me, yeah, that a lot. Proby was another one, you know. But then, you know, just to know the teachers on a different level in the teachers' lounge
Well,
now.
to see
instead of-
kind of the
yeah.
challenges that they were up against.
Right,
and-
and I was close to a lot of my teachers, and that was an important thing. And so that was really cool. And then there was a lot of, the year I went over to San G, they only hired 7 teachers in the entire district. In the entire district, they had freezes on and all that. So I was lucky. Phil Haley, who was the principal, he's my, Brian Burke and Phil Haley both changed my life, you know. And so I started over at San G, and I came there in '82, and then I retired in 2017. I taught mainly junior English, but I was, the last 12 years, all full-time activity director, and then in the 80s, I did it for 5 years also, but burned out and then had to, you know. But then when I came back, it was a good fit at the end. So,
What did you find the most rewarding part about being a teacher?
well, the activity part was really cool because everything I did was positive. So I delivered birthday balloons. You know, I came into classes and announced so and so won, or the career teacher would let me know who signed enlisted, and so we'd come and say, you know, this is going to be a future hero, and you know, kids applauded and all that kind of stuff. So, and I did amazing activities in the assemblies that we had. I brought in like Circus Olay acts and things that the kids had never ever seen, and the field trips I took as an English teacher, I would do one every quarter, and we'd visit museums and that sort of thing. A lot of kids had never seen the ocean, so we went out to the Getty Villa out there, and they saw that. And we did a lot of plays. Ray Bradbury came and talked to my classes a couple of times, and then we met him at theaters and watched his play, and then he talked afterwards and stuff. So, you know, and the kids remember all that. Had Holocaust survivors come. Pearl Harbor survivors and that sort of thing, that you can't get those people anymore, you know.
Before I let you go, I want to talk about this wonderful honor that San Gorgonio High bestowed upon you upon your retirement. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, yeah, it was really cool because my principal was a former student of mine, both in my English class and my student council class. And she realized all the activities I put on, and especially out in the quad. So they named the quad Satterfield Square after me. So there's 3 different plaques that say that out there, and then the 4th one I got on my wall at home proudly. So that was really cool that they did that, you know, and you know, very honored, and you know, they don't name stuff after teachers.
Not too many
very often.
people
Yeah,
have had that
yeah.
kind of impact on a campus, on
Right.
students, on staff.
And before we go, I just wanted to mention again about the Back to Burdue.
Please.
And it's you know, September 21st, and we have a San Bernardino High School Class of 1975 reunion Facebook page.
Okay.
And if they want to go to that, and you know, if you're interested, and that's open to all the classes. The reunion is, you know, sponsored by us the day before, and we're sponsoring this. But anybody that wants to go, you know, if they're in the 90s, they haven't seen their campus in a long time, and they want to just come by, it'll be really trippy for them to see how beautiful it is. They'll say, "This doesn't look anything like when we were there," you know.
Why didn't we get some of this?
Yeah, and it's only $25, and we're going to have lunch and tour the campus and program inside the auditorium, or the Performing Arts Center now, excuse me. And so we'd love to have people come.
Well, Bob, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. Again, Back to Burdue at San Bernardino High School is on September 21st. The 50th anniversary of the class of 1975 is the day before, in September 20th. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David. It was a lot of fun.
Visit IEAlive.com.